So good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Talent Finders would like to welcome the incredible CEO and founder, Loren Brill of Sweet Loren's Inc., ranked by Inc. magazine's top 500 fastest growing companies in the US. Welcome, Loren.
Thanks so much for having me.
So firstly, Loren, congratulations on all your achievements. Can you please share with us a little more about your entrepreneurial journey and how it started?
Sure. I started Sweet Loren's really out of a personal need. So after I graduated college, when I was 22 years old, I woke up one morning and the lymph nodes in my neck were very swollen. And I went to the doctor and I was diagnosed with cancer. I had Hodgkin's lymphoma and had to start chemo immediately. And so, my life got very derailed at a young age. Yeah. And thankfully, I was totally cured, but I was forever changed. I really looked at health and wellness as paramount, and I was very dedicated to doing anything I could to make sure I was going to be healthy. And so I started to study nutrition and keep my body as healthy as possible. I started to work on positive thinking, working out as much as possible to rebuild my strength. And clean ingredients were so important to me because I felt so much more energetic and stronger and happier when I ate products that didn't have chemicals or artificial flavors or colors or hydrogenated oils or refined flours or most dairy. So, I have such a sweet tooth, and I felt like it was easy to make meals that were healthier, but when it came to dessert, there was just nothing I could find that was so delicious but also made of really good ingredients. And if I couldn't find it out there, I decided I should be the one to make it. So started to make my own recipes, and that's where, this fire in my belly really started to grow to I just had this vision to create a brand called Sweet Loren's that was the company that I wish existed. It was a company that made products that just tasted amazing, but made clean ingredients, delicious and accessible and easy to make and easy to find. And when I had kind of enough friends and family buying cookie dough from me and me really seeing the need in the marketplace, like if I didn't create a company like Sweet Loren's, there'd be nothing for me to eat in the supermarket. And by the time I had kids one day, there'd be no brand that I would feel good about buying for them either. So I saw the opportunity in the market. I had such a passion for it that, and I never wanted to work for someone else. And that's when I just jumped in to become an entrepreneur.
Amazing. So obviously you've touched on, being diagnosed with cancer. So having gone through this, can you elaborate on your food/dietary challenges? I mean, you did touch on it briefly, but also and how it led you to creating the company. So I know you've elaborated, but just in terms of, the actual food challenges that you had, like in terms of even just normal food, not just for desserts. So.
Yeah, so I just wanted to eat as simple, fresh, whole food ingredients as possible. So just keeping food as real as possible. I think it tastes the most delicious, and I also think it's the best for you because your body knows how to break it down and it has the most nutrients. So I just ate a lot of fresh, vegetables and, a lot of salads and, healthy protein that didn't have antibiotics. And I just ate really clean, and I thought the food tasted fresh and delicious and was better for me. And so I felt like, so that's always been my goal is always to eat just as natural, whole food, fresh food as possible. And if I'm going to eat, eggs or meat, have it be just sustainably raised and antibiotic-free and hopefully pasture-raised and just as clean as possible, right? But then once you get into, dessert, just most desserts are made of like butter, white flour, sugar, and
all the bad
really no
stuff.
nutrients in it. Yeah, and it's just, I mean, I know it tastes good at first, but I just never felt it afterwards. It's just always very empty. So
Yeah.
no fiber or protein, and lots of sugar, which just made, really spikes your blood sugar level, and then you just kind of crash. And so,
Yes.
so, when I started to really get into packaged foods, that's when in packaged foods there's a lot of preservatives and chemicals and hydrogenated oils and cheaper oils and things like that, because they want it to be cheap. They want to get it on the supermarket shelf as affordably as possible. They don't care about what ingredients go in it. And also, they want to find ways to preserve it and give it a longer shelf life. So for all those reasons, when you start getting into packaged food, you have to be like extra strict about the ingredients that go in, because a lot of the time there's a lot of filler. So, I didn't want to eat anything that was filler. So, anything that I don't like refined flours, because I think, they're empty, and there's better, better quality whole grain flours out there that I think taste better and have more nutrients. So,
Yes.
I started staying away from refined flours, and then, I hate the way cheap refined oils make me feel. So I stay away from, a lot of processed cheap oils or anything hydrogenated, and then
Yes.
definitely never, preservatives or chemicals or artificial flavors or colors. I just knew my body never felt good after eating that. And
Yes.
anyway, so, so that's my, and then when I started to see the demand for, people that had a lot of food allergies, like there's a lot of people out there who, have nut allergies, or their kids' friends have nut allergies, and so they just wanted safe food. So even though I love nuts, I saw a need for families that wanted something that was made in a nut-free facility, so it was safe for them or their friends. So, that became important to me. I love the idea. I eat a lot of plant-based foods, and it's better for the environment, and then it opens it up to anyone who, whether they have a dairy allergy or an egg allergy, or they just want to eat more plant-based, or they are vegan, all of a sudden we are, our product is vegan, gluten-free. I just, feel better when I stay away from most refined flours, but I love that our product is gluten-free, because then, whether you're gluten-free or not, you can enjoy the product. It doesn't taste gluten-free. It doesn't taste weird. Again, I've just made sure the product really feeds as many people as possible so that everyone at the dinner table can enjoy it.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. So as far as your product and sugar, because obviously, as you know, sugar is the worst for cancer. So obviously that was something you had to take into consideration. So are there other things that you put in place of using sugar?
So all the ingredients that we use are non-GMO verified. So we use, again, I like real ingredients that I know taste delicious and your body can digest. So we use a non-GMO, pure cane sugar and molasses, and we just try to use as little as possible. But, I've tested kind of every type of sweetener or sugar out there, and that's truly what most people really love. And I think a small amount of sugar in a balanced diet, your body can digest.
Yeah,
and it's part of a balanced, delicious diet.
Absolutely amazing. So you have been recognized by Inc. magazine as one of the top 500 fastest growing companies in the U.S. Can you share with us how this came about, and how have you achieved this in such a short space of time?
So it's something you apply for. I think they have some requirements. So you have to be, I think, over $2 million in gross revenue. You have to have been in business, I think, for at least 3 years after getting that revenue. And then they really look at your tax returns, and it's a measurement. They see how fast you've grown over 3 years. And
amazing.
So, we've grown incredibly fast. We've never done really outside marketing. I just attribute our success to a really amazing product that's been so well tested. As I said, I've continually tweaked the product to make it feed as many people as possible and, make as many people happy. So a really great, well-tested product, and then an amazing team. We have a really great team here, and our sales team has worked incredibly hard just getting products in over 10,000 supermarkets. And then we have the most amazing fans who have, loved the product, shared it on social media, told their friends, and we couldn't do this without our fans. So for all those reasons, we've done a really amazing job. It's funny because I've said for the last 3 years, I feel like we're going 100 miles a minute,
Yes.
and then once we get this award, I'm like, oh, this is why, it really has been crazy, but it's been so thrilling and exciting.
As a female founder, what have been some of your biggest challenges and lessons that you have learned along the way?
I think the most important thing to me is surrounding yourself with incredibly smart and reliable people where you all have, the same goals. So to me, Sweet Loren's has grown because we've really built an amazing team, great work ethic, great attitude, great passion, and, always thinking bigger and better. And so I would say surround yourself with an amazing team and be honest about the things that, are your strengths and also the things that you enjoy, and then make sure you hire to fill all those other positions, because in order to be successful, every single thing you do has to be done well. So from, the finance to marketing to operations to product development to, managing a factory, I mean, you have to be able to do all those things incredibly well. And so there's only so much one person can do, but also what do you enjoy and what are your strengths, and then hire around that so that you have a very well-rounded team. And then I would say self-care, make sure that you, it's such a marathon. It doesn't happen overnight. Yeah. It's day in and day out. And so the only way.
And that's what people don't see, right?
Yeah. The stress, exactly. Like from the outside, it's like people are like, oh, it's so cute. You started a cookie dough company and it's grown really fast. And it's like, actually there's nothing cute about this. Like I started this company out of really survival and how important food is. This hasn't been easy. We've worked incredibly hard every day to fight for this, to problem solve, to figure out how to run a really smart business and how to create a really great product when you have a much smaller budget and team than the big guys. And when you're doing something new, disruptive, like we're trying to make gluten-free vegan taste delicious. And people that aren't gluten-free or vegan, still are cautious. Once they try it, they love it. But so it's a lot to figure out. And I think that so I think self-care is incredibly important because it's not an overnight success. You have to make sure that you do things that give you the energy and health and positivity that you need so that every day you can show up your best and, be in for the long haul.
Absolutely. And especially as well, having not been well, you also have to manage and balance those things as well, so it doesn't come back or affect you in another way.
Absolutely. Health is everything. So, first and foremost, you have to make sure your health is great. And then you also have to make sure that, there was at the beginning when I started Sweet Loren's, I spent so much time working, I didn't have enough time for friends. And then I started to get really sad. So, you have to make sure you also, have time to do all the important things in your life. If you want a partner, if you want to spend time with your friends or family, if you want a vacation, you have to make sure I put that in health and wellness bucket. You have to make time for all those things because if you're not happy, you won't be great at work.
No, absolutely. So as you're aware, most female entrepreneurs have incredible ideas and concepts. Why do you think from a global perspective, less than 5% of women get funded? And what do you think the reason is for this? And how do you believe we can change the narrative?
So, I think at this day and age, if you have a great, product, an idea and team, and there's an opportunity in the market for, what you're selling, you should be able to get funded. I think the hard part is that, there is an art to raising money. It doesn't come just naturally. You have to learn how to do it. You have to understand valuations. You have to understand what someone who's going to invest in your company is looking for. And so these things just take practice and time and mentorship, honestly. And so I think that, part of the issue of why there's so few women is that we just haven't had that many role models and mentors and examples before us to make it feel like this is something that we can do just as easily as men, maybe even better. That's just not something that we hear a lot. So I think, like any strong woman who wants to start, filling in that gap, all you have to do is just, again, surround yourself with women who have done it before, or men or women who have done it before, but just having mentors that give you kind of the strength and guidance to help you problem solve, so that you don't put yourself in a bucket of, oh, I'm a woman, or I'm young, or I'm inexperienced. Anyone who has a great idea and is committed to, getting a business off the ground and doing all the things that are necessary to grow a great business should be able to raise money. I don't care what age or nationality or ethnicity or, male, female, or, whoever they are, should not hold them back. And so it's really a mindset. And so I think that, it's just about surrounding yourself with people that can make sure that they're there to help you. And we need more mentors and more women that have done it before to make it easier to see that this is possible.
So in your entrepreneurial journey, did you or did you have the financial backing to begin with, or did you need to go and seek it? And what was your process with that?
So at the beginning, I was a one-woman show. So I just wanted to make sure I had a proof of product and concept and knew what I was doing before I went and raised money, because I didn't even know if this would work. So I did everything myself at the beginning. I created the recipes. I found the factory. I designed the packaging. I did everything myself to get to the point where I felt like I had real traction. So I was already in supermarkets, like Whole Foods was my first supermarket. So I was already in some supermarkets. I already had a product. I used my savings to get this off the ground, but I lived at home, and I just found ways to make my life as, living expenses as cheap as possible, so I could, have a year to focus on getting a business off the ground. And once I was able to really have a product that had traction, was doing well, was getting press, was in supermarkets, I knew that then, there was already a proof of concept, and I could raise money, a small amount from friends and family who believed in me, who loved the product. And then, and that's what I ended up doing.
So as you have been rightly recognized as one of the fastest growing young companies in the U.S., how and what was your process been to upscale your business, and where are you currently, and what have you done differently to others?
We think what we're doing differently is that we are one step ahead of any competition. So we have a team of people that care the most and are thinking about our category, more than anyone else, and care about our customers and have a really great relationship with our fans. And so, we know what they're looking for, and we have an excellent factory that can produce. And so, and I think the product sells itself, but I think it's very impactful when you have a real person behind the brand. There's
Absolutely.
an authenticity, and I think a lot of people are really drawn to the story of how I started the company, really understand, why I started, care. There's an authenticity, there's an emotional connection, and we don't take that for granted. People really care about what we're doing.
So what are some of your career highlights?
I think being in the Inc. 500, number 114 fastest growing company was definitely a career highlight. I mean, I couldn't be more proud of us and our team for that. We got there with 6 SKUs of cookie dough, so it feels really good to get that recognition. I also just did a TED Talk this last weekend, and so that'll be live soon, but I did a TED Talk, which was an honor to be asked to do that, and the title of it was The Survivor in All of Us, and so that was just a huge honor, because I really do believe that there is a survivor and a strength in all of us that we can tap into, and that we all go through hardships. It may not be cancer for everyone, but we all go through hardships, and it's just how do we show up during those hardships can actually make us stronger and better and smarter. I think that I pride myself in always liking, I love to learn. So, we're always getting better, and I surround myself with mentors all the time so that I can learn from them and that I have someone else who's not in the day-to-day of the business, but helping us see things maybe we don't see. And, that's really built a great recipe for success.
Where are your major outlets, or who do you supply in terms of major outlets, chains, supermarkets, stores, or online?
So we do sell online at sweetlorens.com. So it's SWEETLORENS.com. So we can ship anywhere in the U.S. So that's one vertical. Then we're in over 10,000 supermarkets. So we're in the refrigerated dough section of all Publix, Kroger, Safeway, Stop and Shop, Whole Foods, Wegmans, Harris Teeter, the Fresh Market. The list goes on. You can go to our website, you can type in your zip code and easily find where we're sold near you. And then we also do food service. So it's something we don't talk about as much because it's not sold in supermarkets, but we do our products in bulk, and we sell to universities, fast casual restaurants, hospitals. Huge opportunity to continue to grow our food service line as well.
Oh, are you going to expand your range into other things, and are you planning on expanding internationally or just keeping it within the U.S.?
Well, we will be getting into Canada next year, and then I definitely would love to be international one day. So, we're just going to continue to grow and figure out how and when.
Oh, wow, amazing. And are you planning on expanding your range or just sticking within your cookie dough?
We're definitely going to expand our range as well.
So you've been featured in various publications and TV. Do you believe that this has opened other doors for you and your company?
Yes, it's definitely helped us. We've never actually hired a PR company or publicist. We've just thankfully gotten a lot of organic press, and it's helped us because we have very low brand awareness. Not as many people know about us as we'd like. So we're actually going to do some exciting marketing this year because, getting interviewed, getting on podcasts, doing something like the TED Talk just helps us reach millions of people. And these are people that are starving for a product like ours. So if we can make more people happy, feed more people, that's what we're looking to do.
So you have been picked up as top entrepreneur by Mary Claire. Can you share with us how this came about?
Honestly, they just reached out to me and asked me to be part of their campaign and picked me as top entrepreneur, which was such an honor because it was just when I was starting Sweet Loren. So
leadership or lack of is a very hot topic currently. What would you say sets you apart in your leadership style, and what do you believe in the current entrepreneurial landscape needs to change in order to create better working environments?
Especially being a female, our office is, very empowering. There's a lot of very smart, strong females. I think I am a leader who, leads by example. I create all of the recipes. I'm involved in a lot of high-level sales meetings. I'm, helping run the entire business, hiring our senior team, all of that. And so, I'm really in the company, and so I can really give feedback on the way that things are run. I think people really respect that, and I created these products, so I know the product better than anyone, and I think that I come in every day with a positive attitude, and, there's always a way to win. I think I'm the one who has risked the most. I started this company. I've used all of my savings. I've, helped bring everyone on board that's here, and I think people see that that's hard to do and really respect it. And, but there's only so much one person can take. So for me, it's about the team now, so I'm just grateful for the team that we have and how they work together and how smart they are in problem solving. And, and it's just about growing that now. So it's like, what can I focus on now that that really helps the company the best, and how do we just hire great people to take on other roles and continue to help grow the company and be a great team member.
So that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So having gone through your own personal health challenges and recognizing what goes into these foods, as you mentioned earlier, what were the obstacles you faced when creating your non-GMO, plant-based, or healthier product?
Well, it was incredibly hard to create a recipe that was nut-free, dairy-free, egg-free, gluten-free, whole grain, non-GMO at a certain price point, tasting the way I wanted to, which is just delicious and homemade tasting, and having no weird fillers or anything like that. So we don't even have any gums in our cookie dough. We have no soy. The ingredient list is so short. I've created a proprietary whole grain flour blend, and so that's what we use as the base. But then I source like the highest quality, rich cocoa powder. We get our chocolate chunks are specially made for us, so that there's no soy in them, and they're just a perfect combination of a semi-sweet and dark chocolate. And we use a chunk, not a chip. So we do a lot of things that we put a lot of time and energy into thinking about how can we be, different and special and high quality.
Yeah, and also innovative.
Easy.
And also innovative.
Yeah, very innovative. Very innovative, yeah. And we really listen to what the customer wants, if
absolutely.
When we hear enough requests from a customer, we really listen to it. It's about making them happy.
Going a little bit more into, as you spoke about self-care, what inspired you to become a qualified Hatha yoga instructor, and was this something you embarked on post-illness, or was it something you always did?
My mom always did yoga growing up before it was cool, so I used to do gymnastics when I was really young, and I just loved stretching and staying flexible, and really, kind of fell in love with yoga. And then I decided it would be a great thing to get certified because I could teach to make money on the side, and also it just deepened my practice. I really love yoga. It's a meditation and physical workout for me, and so it would deepen my practice within it. And so I became a yoga instructor, and it really helped me, it still helps me. I just really understand the practice and have a lot of respect for it, and it's also fun to teach it occasionally.
Yeah, and I guess it also, adds balance to what you're doing. So
exactly. Exactly. Again, it's part of that health and wellness routine that really helps keep me balanced.
Absolutely. So what are your 3 key pieces of advice for other aspiring entrepreneurs, and what does a typical day in the life of Sweet Loren's Inc. look like for you?
So a day in the life is, I wake up, I always look at my calendar, prioritize what's happening, make sure I'm prepared for things, talk to whoever on my team to get, whatever we need for the week or the day prepared. We have a status call every Monday morning, 10 a.m. with our whole team, and so everyone kind of talks about what they're working on, and we all talk about how we can support each other, so that's a great way to kick off the week. So I normally have, maybe it's an interview. We're hiring a lot of people right now, so I have a couple interviews back to back. I'll have a meeting about marketing or packaging our new products, and pretty soon the day is done.
Yes.
I always make sure I fit in some time to work out. So maybe it's after work, I'll take a yoga class or go for a run or do a spin class. And then I love to unwind, whether I'm with my fiance and we go for dinner or I hang out with friends. I need a couple days of the week alone to myself, but then I also really like being social and catching up with great friends. And so that's like a normal day in the life, but it's pretty back-to-back. There's no, I don't have many hours that are just free and open. Things get filled very fast, and the day goes by very fast. Yeah. And then, I always try to have a really good night's sleep so I stay healthy and strong for the next day.
Yeah.
But again, I like balance. So I like to go out, try great restaurants, have fun, maybe a glass of wine. And then, the three biggest pieces of advice I'd have to anyone who wants to start a business is, one, anything is possible. So, really I support dreaming big and letting yourself dream big and not putting barriers on yourself. And then two, really getting to know yourself well, like really understanding what you're passionate about, what you love, what you really want to dedicate every day for.
Yeah.
I mean, entrepreneurship is not easy. You're going to have to absolutely be in love and passionate, obsessed with whatever you choose if you want to be successful. And so really figuring out what turns you on, and then, it's not just a hobby then. You should turn it into a business. You're really looking at the market and where's the white space and how can I create something that's going to fit in that white space that people will buy and that they want in the world. And so really figuring out what the product market fit is.
Yeah.
Even if it
and
gets
what problem are you
time.
solving, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What problem are you solving? And then the third thing is just surrounding yourself with really good people. If you surround yourself with really smart, supportive people, I don't think there's anything you can't figure out, So just making sure you surround yourself with really great people, and then, you'll be able to figure out all the steps to make it happen.
And the final question is, what legacy would you like to leave?
I would like to, just be thought of as an amazing entrepreneur. I mean, I happen to be female, but an amazing entrepreneur in general, but also a female entrepreneur that inspires, women and men to dream bigger, to work hard, to make the world a better place, and also have opportunity to, follow your passion for your life. Like I get to, do what I love every day, and that's such a great gift. So I think, I want to leave that legacy of someone who dreamed big and, has a great story that inspires and makes the world a better place, and, does that through, creating a lot of value and, millions of dollars to the economy, but also, is making people really happy. It's making people believe in food more, making people healthier, and showing that, the little, we're up against the big guys on the shelf. So I love proving that, the smaller person or the female can compete.
Well, thank you so much, Loren, for sharing your story with us in the audience, and hopefully we can have you back in the future. And just thank you and wish you all the best.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.